Good evening, everybody. This is Scott Morganroth of the South Florida Tribune Broadcasting Network, and we are live on the Motorman and Rude Dog Show. And Rudy Rays, welcome to the South Florida Tribune Broadcasting Network as we look to build a new era in sports broadcasting.
You know, new eras are always nice. They're always good to know that they do exist. And, of course, Motorman and Rude Dog, you guys can find that at Motorman Rude Dog on Twitter. We are live right now. Be sure to tune in. If not, check out the podcast when we're done. Everyone's going to have fun listening to this knockdown drag-out. And, of course, speaking of knockdown drag-out, you have a knockdown drag-out situation in San Francisco as the 49ers are laying it on the Cleveland Browns. This is just an ugly score. It's an ugly game. Couldn't get any uglier except for Los Angeles, where they got basically manhandled by the Washington Nationals 6-1. I know you're watching that game. What are your takeaways from that? How did the Dodgers find themselves down so fast?
Well, you know, it doesn't hurt when you have Max Scherzer on the hill for the Washington Nationals, that's for sure.
Well, he was just an absolute terror. He's obviously a future Hall of Fame pitcher, a guy who's done it time in and time out. They're 50-31 at home, and of course 93-69 does not look that bad either. But if you're the Dodgers, this is like a repeat. How does this happen?
Well,
and I can probably tell you why.
Go ahead.
Because Dodgers fans are used to this. They always get so close, yet so far away. The other day, fans were leaving preemptively before the game was ever over. There was a lot of missed opportunities. Peterson, 0-4. Max Muncy, 0-4. Justin Turner, 1-for-4. He did have one ribby. Just a lackluster effort all the way around for 9 straight innings. Nationals, on the other hand, just absolutely laid into them in all different aspects. And again, there was no real big surprise for me to watch the Nationals just take this 106 and 56 LA Dodgers team to the shed, 6-1. It was a brutal game.
You know what's amazing too, though, Rudy? You got two teams separated by 13 games. Okay, one loss differential. Now all of a sudden, the Dodgers find themselves in a very tough spot, knowing that Steven Strasburg will be on the hill on Wednesday against Walker Buehler. And, again, once you have a winner-take-all situation, everybody is in play. And the Nationals look awfully deep in that with their pitching staff, knowing if they needed an inning or so out of Scherzer, they can indeed get it.
Well, they got 7 innings out of him. He had only 1 error. He had 7 strikeouts, 3 batted in. I mean, it wasn't as if the Dodgers did not, again, have the opportunities, but they just missed all the way around. When I say missed, he literally missed on and at home plate, only scoring 1, and that was Justin Turner in the first. And ever since then, he had 1 in the third by the Nationals, 4 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth. Ultimately, it didn't look very good for LA. Clearly, they are the better team. Now the series is tied up 2-2, headed into game 5, and that could be the deciding game 5. Who wins in game 5 if for some reason the Dodgers, and clearly we see what happened with Kershaw just the other day when he always lacklusters when he is called upon. Maybe the money had something to do with why he pitched so horrible. I don't know. But the Dodgers fans are used to this kind of debauchery when it comes to other teams going into Los Angeles and ultimately tearing them apart.
But it's not like Clayton Kershaw's had the greatest postseason record anyways, Rudy. He really has struggled. I don't know what it is, a great regular season pitcher, but get the guy in the postseason and he's just not as good. He isn't. Don't know.
I don't know. Maybe the money gets in the way of understanding what you have to do time and time again. He was even during an interview, he was talking about how you're not going to get these type of opportunities again. And to be quite honest with you, this could be the last opportunity. I don't know what the contract stipulates. I don't know when they can basically end the relationship with him. But of course, LA is a bunch of diehards, and if you're not with the program, then they're going to have to find somebody else to do it. I mean, Urias was didn't obviously win that. He was 0.2 innings pitched. They used, again, personnel management for the Dodgers down the stretch, whether they're at home or away, has been kind of their Achilles heel. Do they right the ship and end up winning Game 5?
You know, I'll tell you what, right now, Rudy, the Nationals are on house money, and they are very loose. The pressure on the Dodgers on Wednesday is so insurmountable, it's ridiculous. I thought that this, if the Dodgers were going to do anything, this should have been a short series, but the longer an underdog stays around, then it becomes more psychological. So I tell you what, I would not want to bet against Steven Strasburg and the Nationals on Wednesday. I just wouldn't. Do I think the Dodgers can win? Yeah, but you know what? Let's just have some fun with this whole thing, Rudy. And I'm just going to say the Washington Nationals end up pulling off the upset. And the Dodgers, a team that's 50 games over 500. Oh, Nelly.
Yeah, speaking of over 500, you have the Yankees up 2-0 in middle of the fourth inning against the Minnesota Twins, who just seem to just plan very ugly games, have done this all season long. And to be honest with you, Yankees, obviously one of the deepest bullpens in Major League Baseball, but there's so many opportunities that a lot of these guys have had. And of course, there was a pitcher who didn't get the start for the Yankees. They decided to go with somebody else. What's going on in that game, if you have any updates on that?
Well, I haven't been watching. I was actually watching the Dodgers and the Nationals, and prior to that, I ended up watching the Rays and the Cardinals game. So all I can tell you about that game is the Minnesota Twins entered this game with a record 14-game losing streak in the postseason, and this could be number 15, and they just cannot get past the Yankees in the postseason, Rudy. They cannot do it. You talk about a nemesis of sorts between the Twins, being that of the Yankees. I remember many years ago when you had Pedro Martinez saying, "Who's my daddy?" He was referring to the Yankees always having his number. And, you know, who are the Minnesota Twins' daddy? It looks like the New York Yankees.
Well, I guess the son's looking up at the big brother, or the dad, if you will, in this instance. And, of course, that is the New York Yankees, as they're down 2-0 in the fourth inning. It looks ugly. New York is leading the series 2-0. Do the Twins seem to find themselves washed out of this series? I mean, they are 101-61. They have a very decent. Matter of fact, they have identical home records as the New York Yankees do. So, can the Minnesota Twins find themselves in any batting position? Is there anybody in this current roster that's in this rotation that could do anything right now? And look, there's a lot of game left. I'm not going to throw them under the bus yet, but the Twins could turn into triplets as the New York Yankees could end up leading the series 3-0.
Well, I am throwing the Twins under the bus. You're talking about the division series, a best of 5. They lose and they're done. It's not like it used to be in the past when these series were 4 out of 7. So I think the Twins are done. Everybody talked about going into the series, Rudy, with these two teams being the two teams that hit the most home runs. Well, it looks like the Yankees pitching staff has stymied the Twins quite a bit, and that wasn't expected going into this matchup of two division winners.
Well, right now Severino's pitching. He's been in for 3 innings. He's had 3 strikeouts. Perez is up right now. He took a 4-seam fastball at almost 97 miles an hour. Of course, you know Severino has been able to really get hot, and when he has, he's hot, and when he's not, he's not. But I haven't seen Severino be not hot all season long. He's been on point. I think that's one of the reasons why he's in this game and as part of this exact lineup. I think the Yankees will end up going and leading this series, leading on 3-0, and clearly, as Arias basically grounded out to the shortstop, got him out of first base, I really think the New York Yankees will end up moving on. And this isn't just a whim, because Steinbrenner's been doing this for decades. He knows how to win. He's got the right people in the right position at the right time. And now you have a right-hander in Sano who's 0-1, been that way all game long. So I think New York ends up going on and winning. Speaking of winning, switch to the NFL. Right now, 49ers in San Francisco just sticking it to Baker Mayfield. That defense can't get anything going. Berea jumped off over a 35-yard scamper from the line of scrimmage at 22 miles an hour. I think the fastest run so far this season. They're really just taking it. Again, another woodshed, another part of the country. When you're talking about San Francisco leading this series 28-3, it does not look very good for the Browns. Obviously, in AFC North, much needed win for the Browns. Despite this not being an AFC North foe, it's still a negative on their record. They're losing in all three phases, from special teams, defense, and offense. I think clearly the 28-3 indicator late in the third would be the marker to say that the Browns will end up losing this game and going back with now the Ravens leading the AFC North by one game, and of course the rest of the AFC North is really hating life. But this was a 3-0 team that everybody was really hoping to get on the right track. Now they have Garoppolo back. Just his 14th start. He's been in the league 6 years, sitting a lot behind Tom Brady, able to watch a lot of that chemistry work between him and Belichick. It's just the dump and toss for this 49ers team. They're just running it down their throat with a lot of trick plays. It just looks really ugly right now. But any given Sunday or Monday night, in this case, we watched the Steelers do it Monday night, and clearly the 49ers are going to win this game handily, I might add, and the score could be even higher by the time we're done with this show.
Well, I'll tell you this, Rudy. You know what Freddie Kitchens is going to have in common with Steve Wilks and Cam Cameron? Wilks, of course, with the Arizona Cardinals, and Cam Cameron, who had that 1-15 season with the Dolphins, will be a one and done.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the offensive trickery. I definitely seen a lot more creativity on the other side of the ball offensively by Freddie Kitchens. He's going to have to throw in the garbage disposal, the extra spray washer, an extra faucet in order to get these guys to get out of the kitchen, because they're cooking in it, and Kitchens is just being stymied right now. Really doesn't have an answer on any side of the ball, whether it's special teams, defense, or offense. They just have way too many solid people. Right now, Brady's in the backfield behind Garoppolo. They have a 2 wide receiver set, 1 tight end on the outside. It just really taking too many outside right now. First down for the Niners. This is just getting uglier and uglier. And you know what the saddest part about all of this is that headed into the regular season, the Browns were noted as being this Super Bowl contending team.
Right.
Everybody was on this hyperbole and spewing out all this nonsense about, how the Browns have the best roster and so on and so forth. They don't look that good at all. So hopefully that bandwagon will not get a flat tire on its way out of Cleveland as they struggle to find their own identity, especially in this part of the season where you would think there's no playoff implications, but to be quite honest with you, there's a lot. There's a lot of implications for them, for the AFC North as a whole. Clearly the 49ers, who were, dearly dead last in the NFC North, as being a team that nobody really wanted to talk about. Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, and then, they had a second string, then they had a third string quarterback, kind of similar to where the Steelers are going through right about now. But it was just a lot of hype on one side and not enough on the other. Nobody really talking about the 49ers as being this perennial playoff team. Right. But they're going to win some games, and more so as the time goes on. And I like where the 49ers are at right now. Could very well go up 4-0 by the end of this one, barring a miracle and an act of Mother Nature to help the Browns get 3 scores in less than 30 minutes.
Well, I knew, number one, Cleveland was overhyped to begin with. I don't know how they got on national TV so many times would be in my wildest imagination. 2, all I hope for Freddie Kitchens is that he rented a house instead of bought one, because he'd probably get a short sale anyway, so it really wouldn't matter. And and I like Garoppolo because you're right. He comes from the New England Patriots where he paid his dues, and New England didn't mind shipping him